On an ordinary day in 2017, two archaeologists uncovered a jar sealed with a wax stamp in a tomb in the ancient Greek city of Rhodes. Little did they know that this discovery would change history forever. Situated on a small island in the Aegean Sea, it was home to some of the most influential people of the time, including the famous Stoic philosopher Cleanthes. But while much has been discovered about Cleanthes, there is a secret tomb that holds the key to unlocking the forgotten Stoic of Rhodes. To get to the ancient city, we have to go back in time by more than 2,000 years. We'll start with the Colossus of Rhodes, a bronze statue of the Greek sun god Helios that stood at the entrance of the harbor. And what do you think he was doing in that jar? Share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more exciting stories. Thanks for watching. It was built in 280 BC to celebrate the island's victory over a siege by Demetrius Poliorcetes, a powerful Seleucid general who tried to conquer Rhodes but failed. The Colossus was so tall that it straddled the harbor and ships had to sail between its legs. It was also so massive that it took 12 elephants to drag it from the workshop to the harbor. But the Colossus wasn't destined to last long. An earthquake struck in 226 BC and it collapsed, breaking off its knees and toppling it into the sea. It remained there for centuries until it was salvaged by Italian and British divers in the 19th century. Today, you can see some of its parts in the Archaeological Museum of Rhodes, but the rest are still missing. The next stop on our journey is the Temple of Apollo, a Doric temple dedicated to the god of music, poetry, and light. It was built in the 4th century BC and it was one of the largest and grandest buildings in the city. It had a rectangular shape, a high podium, a wide colonnade and a tiled roof. Inside, there was a huge statue of Apollo with a lyre, a golden bow and a laurel branch. But the temple wasn't safe from earthquakes either. In 226 BC, the earthquake damaged the temple and it was never rebuilt. Only a few foundations and a few columns remain today, but they tell us how glorious the temple once was. The last stop on our tour is the Palace of the Grand Masters, a massive fortress that stands at the top of a hill overlooking the city. It was built in 1440 by the Knights of St. John, a holy order of warriors who defended Christianity against Muslims. They ruled Rhodes until 1522 when the Ottomans invaded the island and expelled them. The palace was then converted into a mosque and a prison, but it still retains its medieval charm. You can visit the palace today and see its courtyards, towers, ramparts, and dungeons. But if you want to learn more about ancient Rhodes, you'll need to do some digging. There are several archaeological sites, museums, and libraries in the city where you can find more information about the island's history. You can also explore the internet and read books about Rhodes. But remember, not everything you find online or in print is true or complete. Be critical and verify your sources. You never know what hidden gems you might stumble upon. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to unlock the forgotten Stoic of Rhodes. During the Hellenistic period, Rhodes was a major trading hub and cultural center. Its location at the crossroads of the Mediterranean made it a melting pot of different cultures and ideas. It was also home to some of the most spectacular buildings and monuments, such as the Colossus of Rhodes, one of the ancient world's 7 wonders. But now it's just a pile of rusty metal fragments. One of the most fascinating aspects of ancient Rhodes is its multi-layered history. Over the centuries, many civilizations have ruled the island, each leaving their own mark on its culture and landscape. The ancient city was inhabited by Greeks, Romans, Arabs, Byzantines, Italians, and Turks. Each group brought their own language, customs, and architectural style. The result is a unique blend of different cultures that make ancient Rhodes so appealing to historians and tourists alike. But while we may marvel at the grandeur of ancient Rhodes, we can't help but wonder what happened to it. How did such a prosperous and influential city fall into ruin? The answer lies in a series of natural and human-made disasters that struck the island over the centuries. Earthquakes, floods and fires devastated the city and its infrastructure. Invaders looted and pillaged its valuable resources. And erosion swallowed up its coastal defenses. By the Middle Ages, ancient Rhodes was little more than a shadow of its former self. But despite its turbulent history, ancient Rhodes continues to captivate our imagination. The ruins of its palaces, temples and streets transport us back in time to when it was one of the most important cities in the Mediterranean. We can almost hear the sound of merchants haggling in the marketplace, see the gleam of gold in the jeweler's shop, or feel the excitement of watching the colossus sway in the wind. Ancient Rhodes may be gone, but its legacy lives on in our stories and our dreams. What could be inside this mysterious jar? Let's find out in today's episode of Lost and Found. He is known for being the leader of the Stoics after Zeno of Citium and before Chrysippus. His teachings were a blend of Cynic philosophy, which emphasized living in accordance with nature, and Socratic ethics, which focused on virtue and wisdom. Unlike his predecessors, he introduced a new concept to Stoicism, apatheia, which means freedom from passion or desire. This idea was revolutionary because it suggested that people could overcome their base desires and achieve a state of tranquility by following nature's laws and living in harmony with the universe. Through this teaching, Cleanthes attracted a large following and became one of the most influential philosophers of his time. His ideas were so powerful that even Roman emperors like Marcus Aurelius adopted Stoicism and made it the official philosophy of the empire. But despite his immense influence, little is known about the life of Cleanthes. Most of what we know comes from secondary sources such as the writings of Roman philosopher Plutarch. According to Plutarch, Cleanthes was born into a wealthy family in Athens but gave up his luxurious lifestyle to pursue philosophy. He traveled all over the Mediterranean, including Egypt and the Levant, where he studied with various philosophers and developed his unique brand of Stoicism. He eventually settled down in Athens and founded his own school, the Lyceum, where he taught for the rest of his life. But this account is based on hearsay and there is no solid evidence to support it. In fact, we don't even have any original works by Cleanthes, which makes it difficult to separate fact from fiction. That's why the discovery of the tomb of the forgotten Stoic in Rhodes is so important. It gives us a chance to learn about Cleanthes' life and teachings from primary sources, such as his personal belongings, writings, and inscriptions. Unfortunately, we haven't found anything substantial yet. But who knows what treasures await us in the future? Maybe we'll find a papyrus scroll containing a lost essay by Cleanthes or a statue depicting him in his prime. Or maybe we'll find nothing at all, in which case we'll have to accept the mystery and move on. Either way, the search is just as exciting as the discovery itself. Rhodes was once one of the greatest cities in the ancient world. Who was Cleanthes? Cleanthes was a Greek philosopher who lived from around 330 BC to 232 BC. The quest to unlock Cleanthes begins in the modern city of Rhodes, which is located on the same island where the ancient city once stood. Now let's continue with the show. To uncover the secrets of ancient Rhodes, we need to follow in the footsteps of the ancients. What are your thoughts on this mysterious discovery? Do you think we'll ever find out who the forgotten Stoic is?